everybody. How's everybody doing? Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Welcome back. I feel a little quiet already. I feel like I gotta get my energy up. I made myself a little bit of an energy drink to help. How's everybody doing? There's some people. Hi. Happy Thursday. Welcome back. Let me fix my camera. I can't. One day I'm gonna get this right, guys. What's over here? Is this my drink? That's my water. Let's move it. Hi, Kathy. How's everybody doing tonight? Where are we at? What's going on? Are you new here? Are you returning? Welcome to Elevate. If this is your first time, happy to have you here. There's a bunch of people coming in. Hello, hello. My name is Laura DeVega. I'm the Director of Agency Development at WorldVia Travel Network, and I host this I try to go every Thursday. It's not every Thursday, but I try to go every Thursday. I'm in town, and we talk personal and professional. Hi, Joy. Nice to meet you. Oh, that's just Ellie. I got nervous and I was like, "Who let her in?" How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome. I'll wait a minute or two for people to jump on. If this is your first time here, I started to say that before. Like I said, my name is Laura DeVega. I've been in the industry for 15 years, and I have worked in many capacities in the travel space. Started as an advisor, then moved into business development. Oh, there we are. Hi, honey. You want to say hi, Ellie? No? Okay. She's not here for it today. She's got a very fancy jacket on, so when the time presents itself to show you guys, I will. I gotta close this though. Do you want to come up while we're waiting for people? Come on, say hi. Come on. No? Up? No? Any other time she would just jump right up. Anyways, she's got a fancy, shiny puffer jacket that she hates and I love. Hi, Kristen. Welcome. So, in my different capacities in the travel industry over the years, like I said, I started as an advisor. Hi, Karen. And then I moved into the business development space with a large wholesaler. And then in that space, I got to meet many advisors day in and day out, like yourselves. And what I heard endlessly was just there's just not enough business, personal and professional development for advisors out there. And it's something I really love to consume. So I said, hey, maybe on a night a week, I will get on here and just do it for free. So we get into all different types of topics. Now we're getting into the end of the year, and we've done this for a year and a half now, but we've done a full complete year of 2025. So this is like I think our last like strong topic. I could be wrong. I could look it up in a second. And then we get into setting up for next year, and then what does 25 or 26? Oh my goodness, I'm already not on par. What does 26 look like for you and your agency? Yeah, no. So we have this one, and then in 2 weeks we have reflecting on 25, and then we have 20 and a week after that, or 2 weeks after that, we have building your 2026. Hello, Matilda. Welcome, everyone. So tonight we're getting into how to handle my goodness, seasonal slumps and what you can do during that time period to prep for peak season. I think this is a really great time to do that. I'm going to move this up a little. We're gonna have all kinds of camera issues, so you might be able to catch a Christmas tree over there. I won't lie to you. Hello there. So we're going to get into this because I think this is a great time for this topic. This is the time of year. Now, if you are not slowing down, good for you. Hallelujah, thank goodness. But I have heard a census if there's some people that feel like it's slowing down just a little bit. We're getting some last minute holiday bookings, right? You're getting some bookings for next year, but it is generally a slower time because people are focused on other things, right? It's nothing personal to you and your business. People just have stuff going on. I know I have stuff going on. I'm going out of the country next week. Like people are in and out and about, and it happens. So, because of that, it's a great time, and we'll get into what this means and what this looks like, but it's a great time to be prepping yourself for next year and what you can be doing to set yourself up when we get into what goals look like and actions you can take for 2026. You can start prepping a lot of that in these coming weeks. So, how are you all feeling this current I'm gonna dare say it, nearing on winter season. We're about a month from winter officially, but I can tell you in Pennsylvania yesterday we had snow, and we had slush falling from the sky today. So it is in my brain we are hitting into that time of year, and it's definitely starting to be the holiday season for many people. So how are we feeling with our own businesses? Do we feel good? Do we feel things are on par? Do you think there's definitely a little slump right now? What are we feeling? Pop that in the chat. In the meantime, I'm going to share with you two things. One, well, first I'm going to share the Facebook group. If you are not part of the Facebook group, please go ahead and add yourself. You'll see all upcoming Elevate Your Agency events, as well as anything going on in the Facebook group, which currently, if you don't know, we are doing a book club. So if that interests you at all, it starts tomorrow. You're not too behind though if you start tomorrow, because I'm literally all I've read thus far is the introduction and one small short chapter of the book. So this is really just a baby test tomorrow to get people on live with me. We're doing it at lunchtime around noon Eastern time every Friday. We're going to go on and break down some of the chapters, and getting into some of the ideas that we'll be discussing when we go through the book. Joy, you're also in PA, so dealing with cold and slump. Girl, I get it. Kristen, exploring this group cruise option, so feeling optimistic. Listen, Kristen, I'm very excited about that idea. I think it's a fabulous idea. Ellie, please, my love, thank you. Sorry, she's climbing some things. Come here. So the book, if you're interested, if you don't already know, it's right here. I have it. It's just my pen. It sounded very loud. It's gonna be backwards. Sorry, I don't have this mirrored. I don't think. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Feel free to join us. It is available wherever books are sold or borrowed. Hold on, let me just pop the Facebook group in here because I always like to do that at the beginning and end of each session. We're gonna get to it. I already started it. I don't have much taken in, but for anyone that is interested, like I said, you still have time. So even if you don't really get it in for the next couple days, we're not really getting into a bulk of chapters until next week. So, all right, in the meantime, now let me pull up my presentation. Let me do this. Let me do this. Sorry. Oh my goodness, guys. When I have these 2-week breaks, I'm out of my swing. I do appreciate you being okay with me being out last week. Last week, I was at Cruise World in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. If you're not familiar, it was really exciting for us this time around because Joshua, the CRO at WorldVia Travel Network, spoke on the main stage and had a really incredible session there, and we were just excited to share that with all of y'all. Kathy, a little slow, but it's giving me time to work on your social posts. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that later. That's a great time for this. So let me go ahead and share my screen really quick, share the presentation. I don't share it too much when we're in there, but here and there I'm going to share it just so you can see what I've got going on in there. So today we're going to get into how to handle seasonal slumps and peak season prep. Let me change my layout here too, because I like it when you guys can see me a little better there. Come on. Let's go with this guy. Yeah, perfect. So don't just survive the seasons, own them, right? Like that's the idea behind this. I want to get to a space where you guys feel comfortable, that you're never stressed about these time of year. Really, like I said, it's a place of preparation for you. It's setting yourself up for success. I always talk about preventative maintenance. This is the season of preventative maintenance. It truly is. Like if you're saying, Kathy, like this is a great time to work on social posts or whatever it may be, whatever is a space that you think you're lacking, this is the time to do it, and not be afraid of a slower season because it is a time to breathe, right? So I'm gonna pop to the next slide because I think I talked about that right on there. So yeah, I do. Okay. So there's a natural rhythm to all of travel, right? I'm a big believer in travel is cyclical in many ways. But there are 3 different essential seasons to travel. There are, of course, your peaks, right? Your high demand, your wave season that's coming up January through April. In that during period, you got long hours. But you're getting a lot of revenue, right? You're working maybe 6 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night. I don't wish that upon anyone, but that's a reality sometimes to accommodate to all your guests and your clients. But you're working those long hours, but you're bringing in that commission. It makes a whole lot of sense. So you don't mind putting in those extra hours. Then of course you have your slumps, which are again not right now. Well, many of you maybe experience this lower inquiries, more personal bandwidth to what you want to be doing maybe for yourself or to go on some endeavors with the business, which is helpful. And then of course you have your essential balance season, which are like what you get from this. So both are essential, but one fuels the other and then one refuels you. And I believe there is a space for both of these. That's why I consider it like another season where you could be truly balanced with both of them. And I think setting yourself up in the slower seasons for the busier seasons will get you more to that balance. Joy for me is being perfect. I joined WorldVia a month ago, so transferring all suppliers and getting used to everything. Oof, that's fair. Transferring is tough. It doesn't matter how big or how small your agency is. That's just that transition is not uncommon to be difficult because you don't know, sometimes you don't even know where to start. Sometimes you're kind of evaluating what you need to be doing first. It's a lot of priority lists. It's a lot of going, okay, I should probably do this, but then I need this component of this, and switching over commissions and things. It's tough. You're definitely in a tough season, but this is a great time to be in it and to be ahead of the game for busy season, right? For wave season. So just know if you are in a slump right now, which I've already, some of you have mentioned it, and I said a lot of the advisors I've been talking to recently, I was with thousands or hundreds of them last week at Cruise World. Everybody's kind of feeling that right now. It's the time of year, so know that you're not alone. Know that this is very common and consistent in this industry. It was funny. More recently, someone had said to me, "There is no seasonality to travel sales," and I was like, "I'm sorry, what did you just say to me?" It was the craziest thing I've ever heard because our sales are so seasonal. Now, do we have things that trickle in throughout? Sure. People are always going to be booking, but your peaks are definitely seasonal. And what you have to be prepared for is definitely seasonal. So whenever someone tries to tell me that it's not seasonal, I look at them like they have six heads because that is not accurate. So there's a lot of struggles that come along with this seasonality, right? One, there's the inconsistent income of it. And that's probably the most frustrating thing, especially if this is in your first year, your first couple years, really preparing for how low that slump might go. And it might not go that low, which that's great preparation. And I dare say, I don't know what niches you're into, but groups can really set you up to know like your peaks and valleys pretty consistently. And I know some individuals and some advisors that set up to make sure they have a group in this slow season. So they know that with that bulk, because they know they're going to get a ton of bookings, but they can set up that group to come in to kind of fill that space, right? That's an interesting way to do it. But an inconsistent income is difficult. Anytime you're working in a commission-based industry, this is a problem, not just in ours, because there are peaks and valleys in every season. But really, it's and if for you to really know your own true slower season, it takes a minute of reevaluating your finances from the year before. If you have not completed a full year yet, or maybe last year you weren't really booking that much, that's okay. It still doesn't hurt to look at it, get your eyes on it, and see what was working, what was not working, where you made good commission. I talk about this often, right? It's a great time to check out your profit drivers, but also just seeing when the money was coming in. You're going to see pretty consistently, even if you just look on a week-to-week basis, when those funds were coming in, what were your good weeks, what were your bad weeks. You're going to know in a gut check pretty easily. When you're first getting started, that might be one, maybe it's one booking every other week, one booking every week. But when you're getting more consistent with your business, then you want, how many people do you want to be traveling a week? Because then when you're not in that space, then you want to be adjusting and booking accordingly to get people in there. You can't pick when people want to go on vacation, but there is some ways to kind of load it in a sense that it makes a little bit more sense for your finances. But if you haven't taken the time to look at when your bookings are coming in, it's hard for you to know where your true peaks and slumps are for your sales. You're also going to see a little bit of marketing momentum drop off during this time of year. That's very common. One, because you're overwhelmed, you have a lot going on. You've also spent the entire year building marketing content. So you're like, I don't know what even to build anymore. Hold on, I gotta close this door. Whoa, there we go. You're not even knowing what to build anymore. You're like, I've used all the suppliers I like. I've reused this image 4 times. I don't know what to write in my emails. So one, it's a little bit of creative juices aren't in the place where you want them to be. There's also the space that everyone's kind of in a burnout right now, because not only are you sending things, stores are sending things. I'm getting advertisements from everything I can think of. My garbage company, all the things that people are, because it's the holidays. This is the time of year for everybody to be advertising. But we're in a unique position where yes, you want people to be booking right now, but odds are they're going to be paying attention now to be booking in January or February. So this is going to look a little different for you. So you almost have to adjust that marketing too. Like, what does that look like? I wouldn't be marketing currently. Here and there, if you're trying to hit a sales goal, you can market some holiday bookings. There's still some out there for sure. Definitely some cruises. But I would be marketing towards January, February. What do you want to be selling? Are you a cruise seller? Then you right now should be marketing for cruises coming up in that time of year in wave season. And it doesn't necessarily have to have a price on it or anything like that, but it's like, are you prepped for what you're going to do next year? What does your vacation look like next year? Maybe your advertising is directed at when you're around the family or you're going on your cousin walk. I don't know if you heard this joke about this more recently, when you have to like leave with your family members to get away from your family. Where are you planning your next trip to, right? Lean in on that because they're going to be with their family. And we all know that is when I used to get the most inquiries. They wouldn't book until January, February, March, but I would get inquiries over Thanksgiving break because one, either you've been driven crazy by your family and you're like, okay, I need to get out of town, or that a lot of times Thanksgiving stirs last minute holiday bookings, right? Or over the holiday break, you're like, everyone's starting to plan for next year. Where should we all go together? What do we want to do? Where do we want to go? So you being prepared for that and almost marketing towards that is a nice little idea there. But again, marketing. Oh, hello, Rocky. The party can start. I love that entrance. But yeah, so listen, I think, Rocky, you're coming at the perfect time. We're talking about marketing momentum drop off, and not that you're running into that, but we're talking about like after we've spent a year marketing all the things. Rocky, what are you marketing right now? What are you putting out there as your content? Are you marketing for holiday bookings or are you marketing for January, February, March bookings, right? Like, what are you looking at? I was talking about how this time of year for me, when I was in the agent space, I would start marketing towards my January, February, March sales, trying to get that bug in the ear. And I was saying how it's the idea to lean in to the holidays that are about to come in. Lean into like, are your family driving you crazy? Do you want to get away? Or do you love your family and you all want to go somewhere together? Let's pull some groups together, right? Things like that. But that marketing momentum can drop off in both senses at this time of year, whether it's, because they're seeing too much or because you've just done too much. Burnout during busy times. I kind of talked about this in the marketing space, but in general, I also like to address the mental health aspect of all of this. Burnout is real. You've spent now 11.13 months working your little booties off to build your business, build it correctly, hustle through, get those people traveling, getting them out, trying to do as flawlessly as possible, navigating hurricanes and shutdowns and all the things. And you just might be spent. And there's honestly nothing wrong with that. You are allowed to take a moment to breathe. And this is a beautiful time of year to take a moment to breathe. Well, I'm all crooked. What's going on here? It's a beautiful time of year to take a minute to breathe. Be a little slower in this space. Take your time with your intentions. Take your time with your bookings. Take your time with your bookkeeping. This is a time to truly have a minute because you have put in the work. Rocky, I'm getting people to think about booking Christmas gifts for 26. Ooh, okay. All right, that's a good idea. I will tell you, there was a gentleman that when I had hi Curtis from Accelerator. Oh my goodness. If you all don't know Curtis, if you're not from, I'm referencing a lot of people, Kathy, Rocky, everybody that are members of WorldVia. If you're not from WorldVia, Curtis is one of our members, and he is at our Accelerator program in WorldVia headquarters this week. It's in a 5-day intensive. If you're, looking for truly the best starter training, the Accelerator is it. And it is 5 days all day long, just getting into it with our best teachers. And it's in Roswell. And we're actually taking it on the road, I believe, this year. I could be wrong. No, we're taking it on the road again because we did last year. So that's exciting. So we're going to have 3 of those next year. And Curtis is at it. He's in-house with us. So I'm so glad you're here, Curtis. Okay, so back to burnout, right? So I don't want to spend too much time on this because I did talk about it more recently with you all, but just don't forget that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and there is nothing wrong with taking a moment to breathe during this slow season. I spoke about imposter syndrome on our monthly all call that we do at WorldVia, and the feedback that I got afterwards from people that sat and listened were like, "Oh, I'm not alone here." And it's funny because many people that know what imposter syndrome is think everybody knows it, but some people that never heard it, or even a lot of people had heard it, but they're like, I just didn't realize that was what I was experiencing until I was broken down. And I think imposter syndrome and burnout are directly correlated. As you start to burn out, you start to doubt your expertise, you start to doubt your abilities, and this is a season where you can really pour back into yourself and make yourself feel better and feel confident in yourself. So it's a great time for trainings and if you want to get into that or just breathing, but it's a great time to expand your niche and feel like an expert and really focus in on you and make sure what you're doing makes sense for you. And sometimes that's even shifting what you sell, right? So this is a great time of year for that. And then feeling stuck during slow months. We kind of, again, this all kind of ties together, but I think it's relevant. You could not be burnt out yet, but still feel like, what the hell am I doing? I'll just say it. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. And this is a big component when I talk about having people and finding your people. This is a space where you really just have to go, okay, where does everybody else feeling? That's why I said it right at the beginning. Are we all in a slump? How are we feeling? What's the temperature check? I'm a big believer on temperature checks on yourself and in your business because you personally might be at an 8 out of 10. Your business might feel like a 4 out of 10, or you might be somewhere in the middle, right? And having that space of figuring out why you feel stuck is really important. And then talking that out with someone is really, really helpful. One of our members just recently reached out to me because that's exactly where he was at. He said, I know I'm ready to grow. I just need to vocalize this to someone. Can I call you? I said, 100%. And we just got on the phone this week and talked it out. And I knew he was ready to do what he needed to do. He just needed to vocalize it and get himself in that space. And he got there. And that's just a moment again of feeling stuck. Like, I'm there, I think I can. And like, you just have to talk through it. So if I have to be the person that you need to talk through all this with, I am Laura at worldvia.com. Send me an email. We'll schedule some time. I did it 3 times in the last 2 weeks. I am happy to have those moments with you all. Oh, okay. Otherwise, I just want to pop some comments over here. I lost my mouse. There it is. It's absolutely the best. Curtis said I took a course last year when I started, and this is so much better. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Erica and Amy and everyone else are amazing facilitators. Plus, getting the chance to meet and talk to all. I love it. I love it so much. The only thing that can make it better if I was. Oh, Curtis, thank you for playing to my ego. It's much appreciated. You want to know something fun about Accelerator? I have never attended, but I guarantee I could teach it verbatim because a lot of the content that is pulled from that, I'm telling an insider secret, but Eric and I built out when we built a lot of our own training many years ago when we had our own agency, and it has just flourished into this beautiful content that is what is Accelerator today. So I'm very proud of Accelerator because I do feel like a part of my heart lives in Accelerator, even though I don't teach it. But I will be at one eventually. It's fantastic content. Rocky, I had military reunion this past weekend. It was the first time I've taken that just stopped me silent, Rocky, and I'm so happy about that. He said it's the first time he's taken any time off from his business in the past 2 years, and it was amazing and refreshing. Rocky, you just commented on something that I want to talk about very quickly. We meet with our top advisors monthly. It's something that we come up in conversation. And we were talking about burnout. We were kind of talking about burnout, or we were talking about mental health, right? And in this room of individuals, we said, how often do you take for yourself? And Julie, you are waiting on me. And I saw your Instagram up. I'm going to get you right after this call. And because I'll take this up there. So on this call, we were talking about mental health, right? And where you're at with it. And we said, how many of you take time for yourself? And I can't tell you how many top advisors go, time to myself. Oh no, I work when I'm on vacation. I work when I do this. And I was like, oh no. Because I could feel in my heart they're setting themselves for a breakdown, like a literal mental breakdown. They're like, no, it's fine. I don't mind. I love being at the beach. And you do till you don't. And I think that's the key piece of this is remembering you cannot pour from an empty bucket. So if you are not taking that time and space for your family and your friends and taking, even if it's just a breather with Rocky, I'm so sad that this is the first time in 2 years, but I'm so happy you took it. And I'm so happy you feel relaxed after. And then maybe you could schedule another one in 6 months instead of 2 years. And I think you've earned that. You're working incredibly hard and you're doing fantastic things. So that is so important. I didn't mean that for this with the session to be about, but I'm glad I'm always happy to do what we can. Connie, for me, this is the time of year. It is also a mental struggle due to the time change, colder weather. Is it just me or does it? Oof. No, Connie, you are not alone. And I think I saw somebody else comment to that. Matilda said you're not alone. You have the same struggle, especially with the change of weather. I come from a home of seasonal depression. God, I didn't mean to go down this road, but I'm happy we are, right? I think it is a natural human instinct as it's why animals hibernate. It's why when we were cavemen, we hid in caves at this time of year and kept to ourselves. There isn't something instinctual in our bodies that we want to shut down this time of year. And that's why this is a great time to, again, fill your cup. Make sure you're taking a minute to yourself. Make sure you're reading and taking in a knowledge and building your brain and not shutting yourself down. It's also just not treating yourself badly during this time because this can be incredibly difficult and it can feel really overwhelming. I hope he doesn't mind, but I'll speak about my husband. He's someone that suffers in this mental headspace pretty consistently. And just remembering that you have, if you need people, you have people, and to reach out to them and having a space. And I saw Curtis saying something by vocalizing it with someone. I wind up answering myself sometimes. That's so true. My anxiety usually gets me stuck with all the what ifs. And that's what it is, right? When you kind of shut yourself down during these cold, dark times, and even if you're not in a cold place, good for you. And I'm so happy for you. But even the darkness, right? I don't know about you guys, it's dark at 4 o'clock here. So having that time to really, it gives a lot of, I know I can tell you, I can come on here feeling like $1,000,000 at 7 o'clock on July 24th. But tonight I was like, ooh, I gotta have a little bit of energy. I gotta get myself back into this because my brain is like, it's nighttime. I should be in bed. But that's not the case. So I just want to read some of the other comments that came through here. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Joy, I couldn't make it to the accelerator this year, but I already booked for the road show. And I hope you come to Mexico too, Joy. I'm so excited for Mexico. I'm sorry, I missed your comment too that you said, Curtis, a little higher up. Definitely feel people there. I get stuck in my head and sometimes think I don't think I can think through this. Oh my goodness, I couldn't read that, but I know what you're saying there. Let's see what else we have here. Joy. Oh, I just read that one. Curtis. It's a legit thing, Connie. And it's called SAD. Yes, seasonal affective depression. And it's real and it affects a lot of people. 100%. Kathy, I'm looking forward to my cruise next month, and it will be on my first actual vacation. Yes, your first actual vacation. I hope you check out. I hope you don't look at an email. I hope you breathe. I hope you enjoy yourself because you deserve it. All your vacations have been industry events. So I'm very guilty of that. I'm like, I travel all these wonderful places. They're all industry events. My only true real vacation this year I had, because I worked through one of the other ones, was I just went to Bethany Beach and checked out with my kids and my family for a week in July, and it was absolutely magical. And I recommend everybody does that. Joy, I always say I have seasonal depression. It's just hard. Yeah, listen, it's very difficult. Connie, I'm reading the book club book now. It'll be on the call tomorrow. I'm so happy to see you there, Connie. You didn't miss on the book club, Matilda. I will put it up here again. You can still get the book. We're only doing we're doing the intro and the first chapter tomorrow to give time to give people another week to get into it. And the first live sessions tomorrow, we're just going to talk through this first chapters. Please join us. Okay, I'm caught up. All right, let's get back into what we were talking about. But this was what we were talking about. But so this season leads to that, right? So just making sure. So what are some strategies for this time of year, right? So let's talk through this. One, it's stay proactive. I'm going to pop this slide up for a second so you guys can see it while I talk. But one, it's staying proactive and of course profitable during your slow seasons, and you want to use it to your advantage. That's the whole point. So what could you be doing? And I'm just going to pop it up here. So if you want to see some of the words for a second, but one is revisiting your goals, right? What were they? Did they make sense? Did they work out? If not, what could you adjust? I can tell you I'm actively doing that with my teams and for myself. And there are some goals we just didn't hit, and that sucks. I'm a high achiever. It really frustrates me when I don't hit goals, but I feed on feedback, and I always I appreciate a good conversation about what I could be doing better and what I could fix, and you can do that with yourself with goals. Also revisit systems and finances and things you've kind of gotten into in the last year. That's really important. Um, Focus on professional development, certifications, training. This is a great time of year for that. I know I'm working on my CTIE and I plan on actively working on that in the next few weeks as things are a little bit quieter and I have the time to dedicate to it. Also, you can plan your marketing campaigns ahead of time, which Kathy, you said you're doing, right? And we'll talk about this more. I'm going to talk about these more in detail in a second, but you can reconnect with past clients and ask for referrals, or you could batch create content during these busy months. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing again for a second and kind of talk through some of these. Curtis, I used to live in Northeast Indiana and it used to be only daylight for 60. Oh, that sounds awful. So things, like I said, we talked about revisiting goals, but I want to talk through a little bit about some professional development options. Like I said, I'm going through my CTIE. This is a great time to sign up for specialist courses with whether it be travel leaders or if you go through the Travel Institute or whoever you want to choose to go through, or whether it's one of our trainings. You can get, there's some deep dives you can do in WorldVia Academy if you're a WorldVia member. But I like the idea of planning your marketing campaigns ahead of time, because one of the biggest things I get when I say, have you planned out a marketing calendar? You say, I don't have time. And I hear you, you're right. But this is the time to do it. This is the time to plan out for the next year what's your focus. I can tell you, I am planning every single topic I have for Elevate this month for next year. And why I do that is because it takes out the decision fatigue for me. There's never a moment next year where I have to go, what topic should I be doing? It's already worked out for me. I can skip a topic and move on to another one, but I never have to go and say, okay, well, maybe I should do this. What are people thinking? Nope, I just plan it out. And if I don't like that anymore, I skip it. I personally definitely suffer from ADHD, and anything that takes out a decision for me makes my entire day, week, life simpler. So doing that for yourself will do the same for marketing campaigns. And it doesn't have to be a full thought through campaign. It can be just the bare minimum of topics. So I can tell you what I've already done for the next 4 months. I have the month, what my focus is, what the voice of my conversation and the focus is for my team is, the deliverables I want to create for those 4 months, and what some of the topics, like the titles of those things could be. That's all I have. That's separate from Elevate. That's just within my internal team. But that gives me a baseline. It gives me somewhere to start. And you can very easily do that for yourself. Look at what you want to be selling. Look at what you want to be starting with and say, this is a great moment for AVIA if you're a WorldVia member, or if not, you can use ChatGPT for free, whatever it may be. And you put in, I need the next 4 months worked out for my marketing campaign with these specific suppliers. I'd like what my focus to be. I'd like my social content. I'd like the days that I should be posting it. I'd like different posts for different social locations, right? So whether it's TikTok, Instagram, all that. And it's going to build that for you. And then you can just tweak it from there. It's a really great time to be doing things like that. Because one of the things I'm struggling with right now is that it is possible for me to be successful. I've been in the biz year with zero income. Listen, here's what I'm gonna tell you, Curtis. Oh my goodness, 12 inches of lake effect. I just want to read some of these comments so I can get myself caught up here. Curtis, I joined in June from a host I was with when I started. It was amazing. I still feel scared, like I won't succeed. I like how people get bit by the dog. All right. So I want to talk through this because I think there is something that happens in the industry when people first start, and I know what happened to me. And you come in and everyone's like, everything's gonna be sunshine and roses, and you're going to sell all this luxury, and everything's gonna go so well. You just have to be nice and call people. And I need to have a very real moment with you. That is not real. There are some very lucky people that get incredibly busy in their first year. And I am so happy and grateful for those individuals. But that is not the standard. This industry is a little bit of a hustle. But because you're putting in the work now, Curtis, it's gonna pay off for you. I will tell you, and I think people, if you are already past this, good for you. And I'm so thankful for you. But the realistic numbers, if you look at and you research it, it takes about 3 years to build your business in travel. That doesn't mean you won't make any money. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean you won't, or that's not guaranteeing it might not take you 3 years to make a booking. That shouldn't, everyone's different. It's kind of like when you look at children and observing their behaviors and they're like, oh, my kid's not talking yet, da, 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 and everyone compares themselves. Don't do it. One, the most important component is you have to, and I just saw this come in and I want to say this, you have to stay positive. There is a little bit of a hustle to this. You have to absorb the information. You have to get your marketing out there. You have to build your email list. But how you start your business is you start with one email and you send emails to that individual. And then you get more emails and you send it to those. And then one person asks a question and then it becomes something so much bigger than you ever realized. You are not, just because you might not have bookings on the books yet, doesn't mean you're not working as hard or if not harder than some of those people that happen to get lucky and successful quickly first. I will tell you, the people that are come in and they generally are not, and this is not, please, I know there's exceptions to the rule, but generally people that come in and then all of a sudden they are just $1 million business within a year, year and a half, it's because they came in with a book of business to start. It may not have been travel specific, but they maybe came from a travel related job. So they had the experience, so they didn't have to build that base, or they came from somewhere where they had a lot of clientele that was transferable, right? It's almost like a transferable skill. It was transferable clientele. And so then they know where they're working from. And so their struggle that you're building right now, that is where they already had in place. So it takes a little bit of time to build that out. I need to be very clear. My first year in the industry, if I wasn't getting paid an hourly rate from the agency that I was in, I would have been broke. I want to then be clear that I went to our company used to have a global event for sales and top sales, and I went to that event a few years later. So you have to work. There's a grind and there's a struggle, and that is any sales job. But know that you're making the right steps first. Okay, I got a little preachy there, but I want to go back to this. Some of the comments in here. So Matilda said, as a new agent, I'm currently working on Royal Caribbean. Great place to start is Royal Caribbean training. Curtis, I remember your post when you joined WorldVia. You took so much time and thought in the decision. Curtis, we're so happy to have you here. I hope that I vocalized that to you in person. But my thoughts are always, can you do it? Can you succeed after failing for a year? Maybe it was you and not the host you were with. I want to be clear. The fact that you're still continuing to show up every day, it's not you. You're going to get there. You just have to keep the work up. You have to keep going, and it's going to be frustrating, and it's going to put that moment, something is going to click, and it's going to click soon, and it's going to make sense for you. Julie, you're not alone. She said, Curtis, you're not alone. My business officially launched in March this year and only one client so far, but slow and steady wins the race. Keep building the foundation of your business. 100%. Kristen said, thank you, Kristen. Sometimes it's hard to stay positive. I get it. Kristen, you're investing in your business and it means a lot to start out the right way. 100%. Wait, what'd you say? What'd you say? I meant not. I don't know what you're talking about, Curtis. I needed to hear this. I'm always worried that WorldVia would drop me. No, I want to be very clear. So this is directly to the WorldVia members on the call. We will call you if you don't maybe book in 3 months or something to check on you. Not to say you're out of here, this isn't working out for us. No, we have a metric that we actually look at here, and I think it's important for everyone to hear this, is we look at whether somebody is productive, but productive does not necessarily have a dollar amount attached to it. So if you are showing up to trainings, you're watching our digital content, you're showing up to the all calls, you're making the effort, that in our minds is productive because you are putting in the work. A lot of this getting started is the work. I truly believe that all of us here are showing that we are serious about our business and are better set. 100%. You know what, Kristen? Thank you for saying that. The fact that you are here on a Thursday night with me, and many of you show up every single Thursday, that is showing how serious you are. We know it. And that is truly, we keep, that's what I was starting to talk about, is we factor that into what is productive here. And I don't think that not every other host does the same, but that's important to us because if you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your business. And so sometimes it takes a little bit of internal investment before that your ROI kicks in. And if you don't know what ROI is, it's your return on investment. That takes a little bit of initiative on your end. And by a little, I mean a lot. You've got to train yourself up. You've got to set your business up. You've got to start learning your CRM. There's so many things to learn. It's not just about loving travel. That's a huge component of it, but that's not all it is. So no, Curtis, you're doing all the right things and you're gonna get there. And I'm telling you, it's gonna feel like $1 million when it happens. And I hope I hope I get to hear about it when it happens, is all I'm gonna say. This is also time if you do have, and to get back a little bit, we were talking about, if you do have clients that you have in the books, or even Julie, like you were saying, if it's, even if it's that one, this is when you reconnect with them if they haven't traveled, or if they traveled a while ago, you have a conversation with them, ask them for referrals. Once you have that first booking, referrals is a great way to start to get your feet in your claws in the ground with people out in the universe and get your booking started. And then another thing you could be doing, oh, you need to hit back to everything. Of course, Curtis. I'm so glad you stopped for this. Tell everybody at dinner hello. Um, but this is also a time to batch create content, right? So taking a minute and recording some digital content, recording some 30-second, minute-long, 30-minute-long things that build yourself out, so you have it all banked up for later. Because I can tell you personally, as a person who does a lot of digital content, it bears a weight on me when I have to do it because I want it to be right and you want to make cuts of it. So doing it when you have time is very important. There are a lot of evergreen things you can talk about and build out now. So say if you have specific suppliers, talk about their evergreen things, like what their rooms are like if it's a cruise, what kind of dining offerings they have, things that aren't going to change with a sale in 3 months. You don't want to talk about finances in it, but things that you can sit and build. Talk about the importance of using a travel advisor in some batch content. Talk about how you can help advisors, trips you've booked in the past. None of that changes. So know that you can do all that then. Joy, I feel like Joshua and Cole are getting tired of me. I'm focused on my marketing now, so I'm stuck. No, that's their job, Joy. They cannot get tired of you. That is their job. That's what you should be doing. Marketing's incredibly difficult, and you, again, I said it before, but you did not sign up in travel to be a marketer. So that's what you should be learning during this time. Listen, you are doing the right thing and they are there to help you. So don't ever think otherwise. Here's another strategy for peak season. Okay, I have to take a sip of my water. I went real preachy there for a second. I do aim to be like Gary from Sandals. This is also a great time for systemizing your work. So that means automating your follow-ups and workflows. You guys, I've got poor Rocky who's on here. He hears me talk about this all the time. Automation, automation, automation. What can you automate and make your life faster? What can you delegate if you have ICs to do so, or you want to look at an assistant to have them do so? This is a great time to make yourself work smarter, not harder. Look at your systems. Evaluate what you do every day. Literally from the moment that I would talk about, I would say write a log. Or if you have a calendar like this, I'll show you mine, where you can actually, oh, it's weird that it's not going to it, but where you can actually like write down the hours of your day. Take your hourly log. What do you do in a day? What can you, and then at the end of your day, as you're doing every half hour, I do this, I do that, I do that, I do that. What could be delegated out? What you can use AI for to make your life easier? What can you use? What is something that you can make a template for so you don't have to think about it again? Again, take out the decision fatigue. Don't make yourself have to think about it. So also a great time, again, like I said, to update your CRM, update your client forms, your terms and conditions, what you put into your documents. If you are not just getting started, you probably created all this a year ago, months ago, years ago. When was the last time you looked at it? When was the last time you made sure it made sense? I can't tell you how many experienced advisors don't know the last time they looked at their terms and conditions. That's terrifying. Well, don't know the last time they looked at their service agreement. Get your eyes on it, because I guarantee, I know we do it actively as the host agency. You may not know what you're putting out there. Oh, myself and a couple other agents are flying to a location here soon to do a work on your business. I love that. It's like a CEO day together. That's fantastic, Rocky. Where are you going? Are you going somewhere fabulous? So to a location. I wonder. Oh, Ellie's busting the door down again. That's a fabulous idea. I can tell you one of the advisors I spoke with in the last few weeks that we was doing a one-on-one session with. That is something that she's not currently doing for herself. Taking that CEO time and just going, okay, what should I be doing? What am I not doing? What are you doing that I could be doing? I think what you're talking about, Rocky, is an excellent idea because you're going to be feeding off the other people in the room and it'll be really helpful for you. Oh, Ellie just then opened the door again after it was closed. Austin, I'm jealous. I've never been to Austin. Anyways, this is also a time to build wait list or early booking promotions. What is that, you ask? Great question. This is a time where if you have something that's you know is going to be of huge interest next year, right? Whether that is if you're a Disney seller and you know it's free dining, whether it's, when certain dates go on sale, whether it's a new cruise ship that you know is going to be coming available soon. Maybe for you, it's the celebrity river cruises. I know I'm excited about that. Clearly they're already waitlisted, but you know what I'm getting at. But are you building excitement around things that maybe don't even need the excitement built around them, but like to build interest in what you sell and what you do? So, hey, I'm going to use you as an example, Rocky, but to say, like, I already have a ton of people interested in New Zealand for next year. Oh, I already have things selling out. I want to get a wait list together of who's interested in going in the next 2 years or the next 6 months. Send me an email. I'll get you on a list, right? Just to build that interest, because that builds out your email list further. Put those on your socials. Or like now, when I say early booking promotions, I know that's difficult depending on the situation of how your business is built, but you can just say, hey, like the earlier you book, I'll throw in such and such thing for free. Yes, that is going to take a component of you eating maybe something out of your commission, or you building it in and you paying out of pocket and getting that back later. But like those little things just to stir interest, especially a wait list is an easy free way to do it, to get people excited about a destination. And all you're doing is making it seem, if it's not already, but a lot of them it really is an excitement. But make it seem like it's hard to get. Hey, I've got a really great promotion for this cruise next year coming up. I'd love to get a gauge of interest on it because I'm pretty sure it's going to sell out. Do you want me to put you on the wait list? How many people are you thinking of traveling with? Like simple questions. Don't ask too much with it because then it scares people away, but just get them excited and get them in your email list. Streamline your communication plan. Again, if you haven't looked at your email communications and what your email campaigns look like, this is a great time to do so. And then, bringing it full circle again, Rocky, next year, you're going to mentally prep and you're going to set boundaries and self-care routines for next year. Not specifically that, but I joke when I say, because just a little bit ago I said, and I hope in 6 months you do it again for yourself, right? So you are going to set 6 months from now, you're going to take a weekend just for yourself and take a breather. Kathy, you're going to schedule another vacation next year so you can take that breather. Do it now. You can always change it, but set it in place. Do it now. And I also mean setting boundaries on your hours. Do you have set working hours? Do you have non-negotiable times where people can't bother you? Set those now for the next year so they sit in there. Rocky, I've heard some trends from people lately, so I'm working on promoting certain countries. I love that. Ooh, I'm planning come with me group trips in 2027 that I want to unveil. Love that idea. And that gives you such a long runway, Rocky, so that way one you can build your interest, you can build your excitement, then you have your list in place, and when it's really time to get down and confirm the deposits for that, the people are going to be so excited to go. That's a fabulous idea. Yeah. All right, let me go to the next slide. I have the slides still going on the side, but they're not as exciting as I want them to be, and some of my text is small, so I'm just talking through them. Strategy 3 I have is keep client engagement steady all year. So this is scheduling out your monthly newsletters. You don't have to write them now. Oh, hi, Mohammed. I met Kristen's husband last week. I met Kristen a few times now, but I met her husband for the first time. He just says, I told you, he's like, oh, there's that crazy lady again yelling in the background. So another great strategy is keeping your engagement all year. So one, again, if you're staying top of mind all the time for them, it's going to be hard for them not to think about you when they're thinking about their trip, even if they're not ready to book yet. So monthly newsletters, just get your topics in order, or blogs, get your topics in order for the next year. That's just 12. I know you're like, oh girl, that's a lot of work. I hear you, but if you do it now, again, decision fatigue, you don't have to do it later. Work out what you think you might want to talk about for the next 12 months. You don't have to have the copy in there or the actual text. Work out if it's a newsletter and you have multiple topics, what those topics could be, what you want to talk about, and make sure they make sense together. This is a great time to do that strategy planning so you don't have to do it later. Also, it's a great time to build like 12 months of I love that, Kristen. It's a great time to build 12 months of travel inspiration posts, travel tip posts, and success stories. Because again, when you're looking at your marketing, what you want to be putting out in your newsletters and things like this is the time to build that content up. So what do you have currently? What did you get back from clients in last year that you can put in this space? How to do this if you are pulling it together and you're ready to start scheduling it. use social media scheduling tools. And I will always go with free first. Facebook or Meta Business Suite is free. That's a great first tool to start with, and it'll acclimate to your. Oh my god, my goodness, acclimate, integrate to your Facebook and your Instagram. If you're a WorldVia member, Rallyo will automatically post to your different socials. So that's a way to see, you put in the partners you want to be posting, it'll post for you. But just start using tools that make sense for you and that it works, that you can schedule it out. Every single social media tool currently has a scheduler, so you can schedule it out weeks, months in advance. So now when you have this downtime, build it out, have it ready to go, and you don't have to think about it. And maybe it's also just scheduling some time where you are, right now you're looking at like, okay, I know I want my newsletter to go on the second Wednesday of the month. So the first Wednesday of the month is my planning session to get it all in order to make sure it looks the way I want it to. So that way the 2 weeks before that, that's when you're working on your copy. Set those little, alerts in your calendar so you can plan it out for the year. And then also, it's a great time to check in on your birthdays, anniversaries, any trip follow-ups that you might have lost time on. Now, granted, you should already know their birthdays and anniversaries, but if you missed any, make sure you didn't miss any that you have to schedule out to send any like happy birthday messages or anniversary messages. And then, of course, any follow-up that you missed, this is a great time to get back on it. Strategy 4. It's also great to grow with the season. So build a business that flows with it and doesn't fight with it. Maybe it's lighter content during this time of year, but you're really heavy into cruising during wave season, and you're really heavy into FIT in the springtime, or whatever it may be. But kind of go with it. So plan your goals around your seasonal trends. I know I do this personally. When I'm looking at what we're doing for the next year, I look at when it makes sense, and I don't set us up to fail. I know this is a slow time period for us as well, so I don't have expectations for myself or my teams this time of year that are going to feel unachievable, because all that's going to do is make you feel frustrated and angry that you cannot hit it, and that just sets up everybody to be unsuccessful. If you want to hit extra goals in there when the time comes because you're feeling on top of the world and things are working out, great, but set your goals up for seasonality. If you were super busy January, February, March of last year, and you knew you were busy June, July, August, don't set a consistent goal for yourself to hit, I'm making this number up, but like $10,000 monthly, right? Because in commissions, say, because you're not going to. You're not even going to come near it if you hit, say, $30,000 in January, 40,000. And I'm making astronomical numbers up, know that, but you're never going to hit it in those off months. Now, so say if your goal is to be $50,000 in commissions, right, for the year, maybe set it up that you're going to do 15,000 in January, 20,000, 25,000 in February, 30,000 in March. I know I'm again making crazy numbers, but then your June, July, August is like 2,000, 3,000. Achievable goals, right? When we talk about SMART goals, that's one of the biggest factors. But also, you might not have that consistent of a schedule, so make sure you know when your sales came in last year. And that takes you going back and looking at your sales. When did it come in? When was I successful? And what was I successful with at certain periods of time? You're going to sell FITs more at different times a year. You're going to sell cruises at different times a year. You're going to sell Disney at different times a year. When were they coming in? What were your commissions? And how can you compare it to next year? Sorry, I went on a little tangent again. Does anyone use automations where if someone comments a specific word or phrase, it triggers an action? I do not, Kristen, but I have heard of this. I'd love to hear if anybody else uses this. I have not messed with that at all. This is also a great time to create offers and products that match demand cycles. Ellie, my love. Oh, she's in her toy bucket. I'm sorry. I'm like, what is that noise? When you're looking at the products that made you money last year, make sure when you're building out your marketing, you're making it towards the ones that made you money easier. Don't lean into what's difficult. Don't lean into what just people ask about. Start to pitch your marketing towards what makes sense and what's a profit driver for you, because then that makes your margins better. That makes your business more successful. And if you get that right from the start, it's so much easier for you in the long haul. And then again, reflect and refine every quarter. So when you're going into this next year, I know I'm saying doing it now, but get in the habit of setting quarterly minutes for yourself, right? Where you go, okay, at the end of each quarter, I'm going to take 2 hours and I'm just going to look at what came in and what didn't come in, or what I thought was. A great thing to have is a projected and an actual, and making sure you say that. Like, I thought I was going to hit 10,000, but I actually hit 8.5. Okay, where do I need that other 1.5 to come in over the next year for it to make sense, right? Taking those minutes to reevaluate is really important. Mana chat is best for Instagram. Oh, look at that. There you go. Diversify. Specialize in opposite season destinations. Again, this is where I'll take a moment where my brain is not what it used to be with this, but I know I had very specific seasons where I would sell very specific things. Now, I was mainly Caribbean, Mexico. I did a lot of Hawaii as well, a lot of cruising, some Disney. But there are certain times of year where I'm not selling Hawaii, right? So I'm bulking up my other trips in that time period. You're not selling a whole lot of, I mean, I shouldn't say that, depending on who you're booking to. But like, sometimes people are not going to the Caribbean in the dead of summer because it is ungodly hot, right? And that's okay. But families might be going that time of year. So I'm marketing to my families for the Caribbean and Mexico during that time period, but I'm marketing it to couples in a different time of year. And it's just making sure again, this is just when you take that minute and you self-evaluate and look at what your sales were last year, where they went, what suppliers it was, and how much you make are the three things you should be looking at. So you can go, okay, well, I mainly sold, I'm making it Portugal because that's where I'm going next week, but I mainly sold Portugal in October. So I know I want to be gearing up for that so many months in advance. So then I want to be marketing it so many months before that. So again, taking those moments and those beats to look at the different things that are possible. Okay. Managing mindset through this time period. I'm really just talking at you guys. I'm sorry, I'm not even putting up the slides today, but that's okay. I don't love my slides as much this week. I think that's what it is. Biggest thing is staying balanced in every single season. So seasonal depression we talked about here, but sometimes this can happen in the middle of summer too. Slumps happen at different times for different people depending on what you sell. What's important is celebrating your big win or your little wins no matter when they happen. Curtis, when you, I know you're not on here right now, but when you watch this rewatch, which I know you will, when you book that first trip, you better celebrate the hell out of it, right? When you even just, you didn't get the money yet, you just book it. You get excited about it. Maybe for you, you get your first 100 emails in your email list. You celebrate that. You get your first referral. You celebrate that. If you're a more experienced advisor and you're busier, you hit that $1 million. Man, I want to hear you celebrate that, right? Like, celebrate all the wins. I'm also a big believer in a win list, so you can see at the end of the year what that win list looks like. I'm very excited in a few months to really evaluate what my win list looked like for the last year, because I write down every single little win. And man, it feels like you accomplished something at the end of the year. And that's really important, especially for your mental health. Again, use your slumps to recharge and reimagine what your business could be. A big thing when you're really wondering, can I do this? Am I being successful? Is looking at what you've put out and seeing if it made sense. Does your imagery make sense? Does your branding statements make sense? Is what you put on your website make sense? So maybe this is a time where you really go, okay, maybe this isn't it. And maybe I reimagine what I want it to be, what I want to be selling. There's nothing wrong with that. It's also really important to remember that just because you're slow, I know we talked about this already, but that is not failure. That just means you are building and you are investing and you are growing, and that is okay. That doesn't mean it's a failure. You're working it out. And then lastly, lean on your community for support and collaboration, because you can make yourself an island, but man, it can be so isolating. And when you have people that are willing to help and talk it out, and my goodness, Rocky's got people going to another destination just to build their businesses. That's incredibly important to have those people. And how you find those people, you go to events, you get into online community groups, even if it's just 3 people online and you're talking to it, find your people. It's so important. Kristen, how do you build a win list? Do you just keep little notes in one place? I do. So what I do is I write it at the back of, I have a book that I write my goals in. Can I find the page quick enough? Probably not. Probably not. Like my little singing moment there. I can't find it. I can't find it. This is just a blank page, but I have it in the back here where I write them down. My goodness. I know I'm just flipping too fast and I'm not finding it, because I do write it in here consistently. Oh, this is the second, yeah. But that's not it. That's not, anyways, I'll find out. But I write it in a list to make it very easy. Um, oh, I missed some things. Rocky. I had a huge private driver. Oh, it was so cool to celebrate it in WorldVia. Oh, yay! I'm so glad we called too. It feels good and it should feel good because you did something awesome. So I'm so happy to hear that we called too. And listen, that's an amazing thing, and you did an amazing thing. And I'm not shocked in the slightest. You're fabulous. But that's fantastic. Sorry, I missed that. Some of my chats are coming in out of order because, like, I saw Kristen's about the win list first, and then yours popped up behind it, Rocky, and I didn't see it. So congrats. That's a huge, huge deal. We truly have a great group of advisors to lean on and collaborate with. Oh, that's very sweet, Connie. I'm so glad to hear that. Listen, we try, and if you're leaning into some people and they're not your people, find new people. We've got so many. We've got so many people that can help people. So find a group that makes sense for you. Find a group that you can be yourself with. I think that's really important. And I'm gonna lend a feather in the cap of what WorldVia is. But truly, this is the first company I've worked for that I felt like I could come to and be unapologetically myself at. And I think that bleeds into the members we bring on board, right? There's never been a point where I felt like I had to hide any bit of my crazy, and that's a pretty cool thing. So make sure the group that you find for yourself, you can do the same. So, all right, some action steps and takeaways. One, what's your off-season project? I listed a bunch of things. What are you doing in these next few months where it's a little quieter? Two, create your seasonal marketing calendar. This is the time to do it. I don't want to hear about it, even if it's just the next 3 months you figure out. Figure out January, February, March. Super easy. Bare minimums, just your backbone to get you started. Review and update your CRM and system workflows if you haven't done so. It's an easy thing to do. Schedule time for education and to rest. Take the minute, take the breather. I will tell you, a few years ago, started every single year. I take the time from Christmas to New Year's off. Do I check my email? Of course I do, because I'm a lunatic. But do I just take some time to breathe and read an excessive amount of books? Yes, I do. And I love it. And ever since I've decided to do that, I realize I'm a better person at the end of it. I highly recommend you do the same or something similar. And commit to consistency. One small action every week will get you into a better place. Matilda, I'm really looking forward to connecting with other advisors and learning from and hopefully encourage others. 100%. Listen, and if you have trouble finding people, let me know. We're gonna figure it out. So lastly, I just want to end. I'm in it on time for once ish. I'm gonna end this with don't just survive the seasons. What I started. This is what I said in the beginning. Try and own them. The best travel advisors don't wait for the right season. They create the right seasons. So I wanted to get my quote right. So I'm gonna say it again. The best travel advisors don't wait for the right seasons. They create them. So what will you do this week to prepare for your next peak season? Kristen, my project, I want to work on videos, and I need to find ways to make editing process easier and quicker. Yes. And you can make some cool videos with the concept you're kind of working on, Kristen, to bring people in. I think that you've got some really cool ideas there. Joy, I was really afraid of transferring to a bigger agency and be just a number and have no support. But so far, everyone have been. Oh, that's fantastic to hear. Listen, I always want to hear that. If that's never how, if you start to feel like that's not the case, I'm the person to tell about it. If you didn't know, I oversee I oversee the expansion team, which is bringing new members on like yourselves, as well as a bit of the onboarding and making sure people are brought on properly. But also the member success team falls within my window, and I always want to make sure we're delivering good service, proper service, and making sure people feel comfortable. So if there's ever a time that you don't feel that way, I want to hear about it. And I also just, because we went down that road, I just want to revisit and say, it doesn't matter if you haven't booked a stinking sale yet. It doesn't matter where you're at. Because you're taking the time and you're here, I know you're investing in yourself, and I know you're in the right place, and I know you want to be doing the right thing. And if you just ever need someone to talk about that, I'm happy to be that person. If you don't like listening to me, I can find somebody else to be that person for you. But I don't ever want anyone to feel like they don't have someone to talk through, because the first few years can be incredibly overwhelming and frustrating as you're trying to get those first sales. But once you get it, it's gonna kick off like a rocket. I promise you it is. So, all right. That's all I got for today, guys. questions, concerns, sarcastic remarks, as I always lovingly like to say. I'd love to hear it. What are we thinking? What are we going to work on in this off season? I told you what I'm going to do. I'm working on all my Elevate content for next year ahead of time. I've also already built out my marketing needs for the next 4 months. I am working on content for the next few months during this time of year. I'm trying to build it all just to get ahead of myself so I don't have to think about it later. What are you guys thinking? What are you working on? What are you going to do? So while you're popping that in the chat, I do just want to let you know that I will not be here next week. That is because I'm headed to Portugal, which I'm very excited. I've never been before. I'm on a river cruise, so I'm very excited about that. And then I'm back the week after, I believe. That's a lie. I believe the week after is Thanksgiving. Hold, please. Oh, thank you, Rocky. I feel like I haven't seen you in it. I'm so glad you came to join us. I hope it was needed. And I'm so proud of you for your booking. That's incredible. Okay, 2 weeks from now is Thanksgiving. So we're not going to do 2 weeks from now either. I'm just going to be honest because I will be prepping my daughters to go see Wicked. Yes, we know it comes out next week, but I'll be in Portugal. I can't. So we're back on the 4th of December. And oh, thank you, Connie. Listen, I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'll see you guys for book club tomorrow. I keep forgetting. I'm so excited. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Joy. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm excited. I am going to be doing book club from Portugal too. My husband's probably going to kill me, but we'll figure it out. My time might be a little wonky that time, but we'll figure it out. But if you need to jump, feel free to jump. If I'm going to see you tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow for book club. I can't wait. And what else do we have? Oh, Matilda's still a little overwhelmed and not sure where to start. I am just trying to do training and learning. Listen, Matilda, that's the place to start, right? I don't know what your niche is, or if you have a niche, or if you decided what you want to be booking, but start learning in those spaces. Start taking some of the training. Yep, Rocky's saying it as I'm saying it. Pace yourself. Take your time. No, there is no rush. And listen, I know there's always the instinct to want to start making money, and don't get me wrong, I understand that deeply. But when you feel comfortable, it's going to be so much easier for you. So take your time, absorb it, ask questions, and if you're curious on what trainings to start with us, please let us know. We can help with that. Even if you just call Member Success, they can kind of point you in the right direction. Julie, thank you, Julie. I have a bunch. I can't wait to hear from you and see when you get back. Oh, yay, thank you. I'm excited. I can't wait to tell you guys all about Portugal when I get back. I've never been. And I'm very, very excited. Well, if nobody has any questions, I guess I'll pop the Facebook group in there one more time in case we need it. I don't think that we do. Because I think a lot of people we already have in there this time. But also, if you haven't been in there in a minute and you're part of the Facebook group, and you want to join the book club, it'll be in there tomorrow. So I'll see you there live tomorrow. And I can't wait to talk books. This is where my nerdiness comes in, and I'm very excited to get into it with y'all. But you guys have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your dinners or your families or wherever you're at with your night. And thank you so much all for showing up, because I wouldn't get to be here if you guys didn't come, and I'm very grateful for that. So I will see you all soon. I'll see you, a lot of you, tomorrow. It was so nice seeing so many of you. Some of you I haven't seen in a minute. Kristen, I'm glad you're going to be able to join live. Rocky, I'm glad you're here. Say hi to Muhammad again for me. And Kathy and Connie and Joy and Julie and everybody. And if I miss you, I'm so sorry. Matilda, I loved interacting with all you guys tonight. It's really fabulous when we have a more interactive conversation. So thank you. And have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.